It's good. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. I am so happy to see all of you here today. My name is Garbo Hearn, and I am the director here at Art Institute of Planning and Heard Fine Art, where our focus is Black culture, the literature, and the fine arts. But we're also involved in our community stuff today. This is our third Wisdom Wednesday, and Wisdom Wednesdays was developed to have a conversation with people who are already retired, about to retire, or just need some information. Now, when we get to be our age, there are things that we need to know that we don't know who to ask or whatever. So I'm about to be that age. So I say, well, why not let's do the holiday and find out what I want to know? I want to know about Medicare. I want to know about uh, family, air, property. I want to know about how to stay fit. And I'm thinking that it's not just me that needs to know that. And of course, Oak Street Health came on board. Idra said, yeah, I'll help you. So thank you very much. So if you signed in today, you will get an email every month telling you about the Wisdom Wednesday topics. So we are scheduled out May. So we have a lot of great topics and we have a lot of fun. Today, we were excited to have the student class with Result Studio because she's going to share with us moves after 64 or before or whenever. But I have to say that I've been working with Tina for 2 years. Yes, about 2.5 years. And I'm happy with my results because it's not really about how I look. It's about how I feel. And things that she has shared with me have been good and probably not her best person. Why is one my favorite? Yeah, I'm her favorite because I keep her laughing if nothing else because I make she tells me to go to the left, I go to the right. She tell me to do this and I'll do that. Then I decided to anyway, no way to get a song. And there's a why are you going and that shit become yeah, that's the song she plays good music too. But and anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Tina. Thank you very much for being here. Let's have for you.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here, and I want to thank you guys as well as Garbo for inviting me, just for taking time out of your schedules to be here today. And I know sometimes it's hard for us to make time for ourselves because we're so busy with our family and other obligations. So that says a lot about you guys being here. So I want to talk about one of the things that I love to do, which is strength training and some of the benefits of it. But before we leave today, I want to make sure that we all know and have an understanding of why resistance and weight training is super important, especially as we age. A lot of the benefits of strength training, and I'm sure that everyone that's been to the doctor, that's probably one of their first recommendations. And then also, I want to leave you guys with some safe and easy things that you can do at home to start if you're a beginner. So has anyone in here worked out before or exercised? Okay. Did you guys have a good experience when doing it? Because some people, just don't know what to do. Okay. And then also, I want to ask a question. How many of you have said or have heard someone say, I can't work out because I'm too old? Or my arthritis is killing me and it's just going to flare up if I move it, or I just cannot do it. I'll just rather rest or recover or get someone else or pay someone to do something for me. Does that sound familiar? What if I told you guys that 3 to 5% of your muscle will be lost by the age of 30, and for every decade that goes up? But the good news is with strength training, you can slow that down tremendously. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself before we begin. Of course, Garbo said I'm a personal trainer, a certified personal trainer and certified sports nutritionist. I own a personal training studio in town. The reason why I opened my studio was because of my own struggles in college with weight gain and me not feeling good and confident in the skin that I was in, and then my family. My family is the type of family that I'm not talking about just Christmas, Thanksgiving, but every single holiday, we like to throw down when it comes to food. And so we know that, most of us don't count calories during the holidays. And a lot of my siblings and family members were overweight. And with that, they had a lot of health related illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, different things like that. So I knew that I did not want to go down that same path. And that's why I began, trying to research and find out things that I could do to become healthier. Was it easy? Absolutely not, but I did it. And I didn't have a history in high school or junior high playing sports. So all the things that I've accomplished has been since I became an adult and I started in college. And the reason why I decided to open up the studio is because I knew that more people were like me that probably didn't have a history or a background with weight training. And I wanted to help other people because I knew that if I could do it, and I was the least disciplined person that I knew, that I could help other people do it. So that's why I decided to start, training and opened up my studio. That led to me becoming a bodybuilder. And I was the first African American state champion for bodybuilding in my division for Arkansas. And that was in 2012. And since then, thank you. Since then, of course, that was years ago. Yes, yeah. Yes, but I was right. But I was just blessed to do that, and I've helped people since I've opened do bodybuilding shows. But I've also helped people just to pick up their grandkids and play with them. My heart is with men and women over 60, but I train all populations, including now. Like this morning, I had someone that was 80 that was training with me. I've had people that have never trained and started training in their 60s and 70s, now doing 5Ks and playing sports and different, yes. So it is possible. But if we don't see people doing it, then we just think we put a ceiling on ourselves that it can't be done. But it can. It can. So that is a little snippet about me and now about you guys and what we can do to stay not just grown and sexy, but fit and ready in our 60s, right? Because we already got one part of it. We just got to get the other part. So why do you think strength training matters? Like, why? I mean, it's not just about looking aesthetically a certain way, but there are so many benefits to why strength training matters. The first one is it's inevitable for all of us to get older. That's something we cannot stop time. It's just going to happen. And with that comes a lot of things that we're not used to in our 20s and 30s and sometimes even 40s and 50s. One of which is like bone loss. Like our bones if we're not moving and utilizing them because our bodies were made to move, we can lose that. As well as muscle loss. So without muscle, because muscles help stabilize us and keep our posture upright and balanced. So without that, that can decline as well. And without balance comes fall risk of falling and then hurting ourselves. And if we don't have those stabilizing muscles to support us if and when we do, then that can lead to other problems. So strength training is important because it helps combat all of those issues that we just brought up. And it doesn't take heavy weight to start. So that's the thing. You could start with things that you have at home, like a broomstick. And I just brought like some water, and we'll do some demos later if you guys want to. And if not, then I'm going to pull one of you guys out of the audience to help demonstrate with me. Okay, so do y'all have any questions about anything right now about weights or strength training or? Okay, well, I'm going to just keep it going. And if y'all feel free to stop me at any time if you have a question or think of something that you may have experienced or have a question about, and I can answer that too as well. Okay, so the benefits of strength training. Did you know that with weights, you will lower your cholesterol levels, lower your blood sugar, that sugar that we always talk about? We always usually eat too much of it by having more muscle. Did we know that? Yeah. And then also with weights and having more muscle, it improves your posture as well. So those are some of the benefits. How do we get started with weight training? Those of you that work out, how did you start? Yes.
Well, I Yes. I saw that I was already ready, but the started with 15, but that you wears it's high with the 30. So the then we add also the back possible back facilities. So basically it's just 88 you don't not I mean it's late and going to that if it's well liquid white no you were and big
Right.
and then not but the it's not just what it's having the bit
Absolutely. Form is important.
so eating make down it big month well
That is a very, very good point. A lot of times if you guys were athletes at one time or did marathons, once we lay off of strength training or working out for a while, we'll resume with what we did before we laid off that break. And that can be dangerous. So, and that's why I always recommend that if you are to start with weight training, start with body weight if you haven't done it in a while, and then light resistance, not like, super heavy weight, and then maybe, or bands, so like light dumbbells or bands. And then instead of gradually increasing the resistance, like if you start at 5 pounds and then go to 10, increase your repetitions. So if you were do first, and that way your body will acclimate to what you're doing. And it takes time. Like if you went for a walk and you're not used to walking, because you're walking with the weight of yourself, that is resistance training, especially if you're going up hills and things like that. So instead of trying to go from walking to running or jogging, I would say if you walk for 10 minutes, then gradually maybe the next week do 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And then once you feel comfortable, then you start increasing the weight. So that's the safest way to do it to help prevent injuries and also to allow your body to acclimate to this new thing that we're doing. And movement can be in your chair. I like to call it snacks, exercise snacks. I know because I love food, right? Okay. So an exercise snack to me, and this is what I would recommend for people. I know, right? We all like snacks. Snacks are a good thing. Would be to if you're watching a television show during the commercial, that's an opportunity for an exercise snack. Maybe do some leg lifts or some arm circles. Or if you're holding, like a bottled water, you can do bicep curls only during the commercials. And then, you can maybe add another snack, maybe when you come here. Park a little bit further away so you have a little bit longer distance, or if you go to the grocery store or go visit a friend, maybe park a little bit further away and then get a little bit more movement and working in. So it doesn't have to be a full blown out, sweating profusely type of workout. It could be like a little mini workout. The main thing is that our bodies were made to move. And if you do not move, your muscles and body will become stiff, and muscles and bones and body will become weak. So we have to move every day. It's super important. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be the exercise snack, or it could be, just 5 minutes. Now, how do we start moving? We can't just get up from not doing anything and just start running and lifting weights and things like that. My first recommendation would be to start very, very slowly. So you may have a friend that is already walking or going to the recreational center. Then maybe ask that friend if you could join them, or you could have an accountability partner like me. I'm a personal trainer, so when you pay for it, you make sure that you show up for it. I'm gonna tell you that. So if you have money on the line, you're gonna show up. And a lot of people that train with me, including, the young people, they will go ahead and pay me because they know if they don't, they're not gonna show up. So it's kind of like that accountability of like, I already have money on the table, so I'm going to do it. And before you know it, they're feeling better, they're moving better, they're stronger, and they're happier. Because exercise, any form of exercise, if anyone has ever been to a therapist, they will let you know that it releases endorphins that make you feel positive and in a lighter, good mood. So it helps reduce stress as well. I mean, there's so many benefits, and it's not just, aesthetic. Like I said, when I first started weight training, it was because of the physical. But now I do it because it's like insurance. And insurance in the sense that it's going to keep me doing the things that I like to do longer. From 40s to 50s to 60s to 70s and beyond. And every day I experience people telling me, hey, Tina, some of my clients, I went to my doctor, all my blood, my labs are so much better. I've gotten off of certain medications, high blood pressure or hypertension medication, and I'm moving better. Or, one of my favorite stories was a woman that hasn't trained probably her entire life. Her family lives out of town, and her grandson, her goal was to be able to pick him up, and he was 5 years old. She had never lifted, done a push-up or anything her entire life. So we trained for about 8 months, and they came to visit. Well, when they visited, grandson came up to her. She scooped down and lifted him up, and his eyes got so big, like he had seen a ghost. Because he's used to her being feeble and sedentary, and for her to squat and lift him up, I mean, like her daughter cried, and she was so happy that she was able to do that. So your goals don't have to be huge. You may not want to be a bodybuilder. You may just want to be able to pick up a case of water and put it in your car without assistance. I mean, if I am standing here today because I know that this works. I mean, people say, oh, it can't be me. I know it can be each and every one of you guys if you were consistent with it. People in their 80s and 90s can still build muscle. Because I've seen it. And then once you do, you can't tell them anything because they're flexing and like, look at my muscle. I'm like, we spending the whole time watching their arms as they do an exercise and work out. So it can be you, and it does improve your overall life, your confidence, that you'll have more energy. Because I mean, right now I can take a nap. No, I'm just playing. I really, I can. But you'll have more energy with working out as well. So any other questions or anything that I can help you with? Any questions about weight training or anything right now? Okay, so how many of you guys are wanting to start working out if you haven't worked out in a while? Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. What's your motivating factor to start? Okay, okay. Absolutely, because your knee is a joint, and so you really can't strengthen your knee, but you were spot on by you strengthen the muscles that surround your knee. Like the front muscle in your leg is called your quadricep, your hamstring. So the more muscle and strength you have, the more your joints don't have to work, or the less they have to work per se. So it helps stabilize your joints. So that's a very good incentive to do that. So, and you can start, I mean, in her case, I would start with body weight. I don't know if you've ever had any type of physical therapy or working out, but like body weight exercises, which some of us are going to do today, like sit down, stand up, that's a squat. One thing that people mention when I tell them I'm a trainer, they say, my doctor told me not to do squats. Squats are bad for me. Have y'all heard that? Or squats are dangerous. Yeah, because I'm like, if you sit on the toilet, you're squatting. When you get in a car or you sit down in a chair, that's a squat. So I'm like, how can that be bad? Now, bad squats are bad for you. If you don't use proper form, you could injure yourself that way. But if you know how to use proper form, I say squats are one of the best exercises you can do. Some of my clients have had people that in their family that have had lift chairs. Do you guys know what a lift chair is? I say that is the worst thing that you can buy. Because when you use a lift chair, the chair is automatically helps. So you're not using your muscles. So right now, every single one of you guys are using your core muscles to keep your posture upright. You use your quads and legs every time you sit down. As difficult or as easy as it may be, you're using your muscles. So if you make it easier for you not to use your muscles at home, like using a lift chair, that can be very detrimental to your muscles because you're going to be losing muscle mass and strengthening your bones. And also, as far as strength training and weight loss, for every pound that people lose, if they need to lose a few pounds, you alleviate 4 pounds of pressure from your joints. That's a lot of pressure. Yeah. And the more you move, the better you're going to feel, the less impact your joints will have on you. And then all your friends, you're already probably the envy of your friends. So they're always going to be like, girl, what have you been doing? You look great. Look at you in that dress. Right? Okay. Is anyone ready to work out or maybe do some demos? Or I can show you demos if y'all want me to be the demo, but I'm gonna, okay. So, okay, I love it. Okay, so I am going to show you guys some things that you can do first with the demo with things you already have at home. Does anyone have weights or gym memberships where they have access to? Okay, that's awesome. You have weights? Does anyone else have weights? Okay, so, well, let's start with the things that you can do at home, and then I'll show you, because I brought more things over there, like some bands. I know, see, that's why I covered it up so you couldn't see it, because I figured that you guys would run out of here if y'all saw what I brought here. I was like, let me just hide the good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do using, does anyone have anything at home, right? Okay, so I just went to my pantry. Don't judge me now. This is 2 cans of beans. Okay, right. 1 can of black, and everyone can lift a can, correct? Okay, so I'm going to show you what you can do to strengthen your shoulders with just 2 cans. So that's something that everyone has. Do you want to demonstrate this? Okay, so we're going to do what's called a lateral raise. And a lateral raise is a side movement, right? So, and this is for your shoulder. So she's going to be holding 2 hands and she's going to raise her arms up to shoulder height. So once she gets to the top of that movement, she's going to hold it for 2 seconds. I'm just going to count 1, 2, and then she's going to work against gravity to lower slow. So it's no fast movements, because when you move fast, you're using momentum and you're not allowing your muscles to do any of the work. Okay, so I want you to grab these. And then, so she's going to start, whenever you do anything standing, you never want to lock your legs out. You want to have like a soft bend to your knees, because that takes pressure off of your lower back. Now, this one you can do seated as well. So if you can't stand for a long time, you could do it seated. Absolutely. Just make sure your posture's good. So you're going to raise your arms up, just shoulder height. I'm going to say 1, 2, and then she's going to slowly lower her arms down. I'm going to ask her to do about 5 reps just for time, so we can get through more exercises today. Okay, so just give me 5. 1, 2, lower slow. Whenever you lift weights, you want to breathe out. There are 2 phases to every exercise. There's a concentric when she lifts, and eccentric is when you lower. So you always want to exhale on effort. So in her case, the effort would be when she raised the weights up. So she breathes out and then inhale. Inhale. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you come up. So here, and then inhale going down. Yep. Give me 1 more and just hold it for 10 counts. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm a slow counter. 6, 5. What comes after 5? Oh yeah, 4, and I'm just playing. 3, 2, and 1, and now lower slow. Can you feel that anywhere? You can feel, so there you go. That's proof that you can get a good reason, right? They start to burn like, oh my gosh. So we didn't script this. This is just off the fly here. So you can feel that. So we'll do a few more. I'm going to show you one that you can do with, do y'all carry big bottles of water? This is just water. Now, if it's not, like, say for instance, if you want to be ambitious and grab a thing of Tide, you can do that as well. Like, Tide is great for squats, like the gallon and 2 gallons of Tide. But we're going to use this for a bicep curl. So I'll take this. We're going to go grocery shopping. No, I'm just playing after this. Okay, so I only brought 1, but if I were you and y'all were at home, I would take 2 of these bottled waters, and you're going to hold it down here, and she's going to do a bicep curl, just with 1 hand. So again, I like to do, this is what's called a unilateral movement, because it's only 1 side. Most things we do bilaterally, like a squat, you're using both quads, but in this case, we're just going to do 1 just for demonstration purposes, unless someone has a bottled water. Okay, so she's going to bring the weight up to her shoulder, and as she does that, she's squeezing her bicep. You know, little kids, when they try to flex and show their muscles and they're just using all their energy, that's the type of energy. And then she's going to control the weight on the way down. So let's just do 5 of these, and then I'll do what's called an isometric or a static hold. So 5 reps. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze at the top. And again, breathing is super important because you don't want your blood pressure to go up. So she's exhaling as she comes up, inhaling as she lowers. She's going to be my demo because, I mean, she's doing a good. What are you doing later on this? Okay, absolutely. So if this is too heavy, that's a great question. You can use these cans. And I also have bands, and I brought enough for everyone to demo. So if y'all want, just to know that. Okay, and last one, she's just going to hold it and then lower halfway and just hold it for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's it. So that's a way that you could do bicep curls. So you can pretty much work any group of muscles with household items. You know, like, and if you're, yeah, if you see, she can feel it in her arm. So, well, you know, just we'll do the other side. Okay, so I'm like, I have to even everything out. This is how my head works. So I'm sorry. So she's going to do 5 reps. And then she's going to hold the last one. So as she comes up to her shoulder, she's going to squeeze her bicep and then lower slow. So if you do not have weights, and you do not have any groceries at home, what do you do? Like, I know, right? So what could you do? Well, then there's things that you can do just using your body weight. And all of these things are beneficial. If you're consistent with it, I'm not a gambling woman, but I can almost guarantee that when you go back to the doctor for your checkup, people will notice, the doctors will notice, and your body will tell you that it's good. Now, one thing I will say too is that if anything hurts when you do it, then we don't do it. That's a rule of thumb, and we're just going to hold the last one for 5. Just halfway right there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. So good job. Thank you. So if it hurts, don't do it. So, or find a way that you can do it, the same movement without maybe just varying your position without it hurting. So back in the day, when I first started my fitness journey, people would say, let it burn or feel the burn. Now, that burn is a lack of oxygen to your muscles, and that's a good sign, but you don't want to overdo it. So you should feel it. Your last couple of reps should be challenging or difficult, but still doable. If you find yourself using momentum, swinging the weight, and you know that that's not good form, then chances are you're either fatigued, so it's okay to take a break, or you need to find something else to do. You don't want to end up hurting yourself by trying to jank the weight up or just jerk it. Okay, do y'all want to see some more demos or? Okay, all right. So for those of you guys that can stand, I want you guys to all stand up, and we're going to do a demo using a chair. And if you can't stand, that is completely fine. Okay, so when we stand, we're going to actually stand in front of our chairs because we're going to do a squat by sitting down and standing up. So, and if you can't stand, then I want you guys to just watch. And I'm going to take one of these chairs so I can do it with you. Okay, so when standing, you want to make sure that your feet are hip width apart. And what I mean by that, the width of your hips, then your feet should be in alignment with that. Okay, so we're going to do 5 squats. So this is just sitting down and then standing up. So when you stand up, I want you guys to try to put most of your weight in your heels when you're seated. So when you stand, you're pushing through your heels to stand up. And I want you to bring your hips slightly forward and squeeze your glutes. Okay, so does anyone remember how we breathe when we do this? We exhale as we stand up. So it's like blowing out a candle as we stand up. You always want to keep your ab muscles, your core muscles engaged. So almost like you're trying to put on a pair of skinny jeans. I know you had on a pair yesterday, so you want to hold your stomach muscles in as you stand up because that helps keep your body in a beautiful alignment. Okay, are we ready to do some squats? Okay, so we're going to sit down. Make sure we know the chair is behind us. And now while seated, we're going to push through our heels and stand up. And squeeze your glutes, blow out. So that was 1. 5 seems like a big number now, doesn't it? Okay, but we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to sit down again. And I like using a chair because it acts as a point of reference too. So it keeps your body, your hips going back as they should when you squat. And then stand 3, 4, good. Last one. Now, who wants an even greater challenge? 5. Okay, so if you don't, I want y'all to sit. But if you do, we're going to stand. And what we're going to do is go into a half squat and hold it for 10 seconds without touching the seat. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then stand up. How many of you guys felt that in your legs? Okay, good. So that is just using your body weight. So that's what I mean. Just the weight of your body can serve as resistance. So there is no excuse for us not to move. And I promise if you do just a little bit, how long should we work out, especially if you're a beginner? I would say at least 10 minutes if you can, and we can sit down now, or do those mini snacks, like work out in between commercials, or go for a walk for a couple minutes. It could be walking in your backyard or porch, or walking around the house. It's been so hot outside lately, thank God for fall. To start, now ideally for beginners, the standard is 2 to 3 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes. So anyone that goes to a trainer and are like, hey, I haven't been working out, but I want to start, most trainers will recommend at least 2 to 3 times a week. So not on the same day, not like 2 a day. And then for 20 to 30 minutes. Yep. And that workout doesn't necessarily have to be all strength training, because we're going to do some things with bands. It could be warming up first, because that's what you normally do, which is a light, easy movement or light walk or whatever, stretch. And then you work out for 10 minutes, so that's 15, and then cool down for another 5. So that's a 20-minute workout. A cool down usually consists of stretching or just letting your heart rate return back to normal. Because as we know, we just sat down and stood up 5 times, and most of us got our heart rate up from doing that. So it doesn't take a lot. And your body is very, very smart. It will tell you when it needs rest, and it'll tell you when it can move a little bit more. The main thing is you have to step a little bit outside of your comfort zone to see results. No pun intended. I'm not trying to do a play on results. Trying to like hypnotize y'all. Results. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple of things with bands, and then if we'll be open for Q&A again if y'all don't have any questions. I mean, I would love for you guys to take some of my cards, information. If you have any questions that you didn't think of today, feel free to email or text or whatever you guys see fit. So let me grab a couple of bands. Now, you may have seen bands like this before. Have y'all seen circle bands? Or like in physical therapy or gyms around here, but there's also another form of resistance bands. You see, I had them hidden over here. No, I'm just, okay, because I didn't want you to say anything. Okay, okay. So these are bands as well, right? Have y'all seen resistance bands that have handles on them? Like this? Okay. So all of these things are made to do a variety of exercises. So it's not just for legs, it's for biceps, it's for chest. For chest, you know, the standard in the military are push-ups and pull-ups. And most people, they say, oh, I can't do a push-up. Well, when you're doing a push-up on the floor, you're lifting about 65% of your body weight, which is a lot of body weight, especially if you're not used to using your arms. So I recommend for push-ups to start against a counter or a wall. Now, Garbo's walls are so beautiful. I'm not going to put my hands on them because I don't want her to catch her hands later on Friday by doing that. But if you were to do a push-up off of a wall, you would just place your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and we know the difference between shoulder and hip width, and lean into it, and then exhale as you push back. Now, once that becomes easy, because again, push-ups on the floor is 65% of your body weight, then you're going to do them off of a lower counter, just a little bit. So maybe a kitchen counter or a fireplace mantle or something you have, and then practice doing that. And then when you're comfortable, I would say go to the floor. I don't like to say girl push-ups and guy push-ups because I think that women can do pretty much anything that men can do. So I like to say modified push-ups. And you may have seen that. That's when your knees stay on the ground so you're not lifting all of your body weight. and doing push-ups that way. And when you're ready, then you go to push-ups. When I first started my journey, I could not do a single push-up. I couldn't run, if you saw a neighborhood, from one mailbox to the next without my neighbors, without being winded. So I'm a living testimony as to, like, if you're consistent and you don't give up, you'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish and how much muscle you can gain. So these are resistance bands. And most of the bands that you see in the stores, and these just came, like, I literally trained this morning and grabbed all the stuff and came here today. So these came from my gym, but most of them come in different widths and thicknesses. So you'll notice that this really thin one here, that's really cute, this orange one, is going to be considered a very light resistance. Sometimes the bands are all the same size, so you have to read the label to see if it's heavy, medium, or light. But usually with resistance bands, if it's thinner, it's going to be a lighter resistance, and then this one is going to be like a medium, and the thickest one will be the heavy resistance. So again, I would recommend starting with the light resistance, and I'm going to use you for my model again. Okay, so I'm going to show you the same exercise that we did with the cans, but using a band. And with the band, I think it's a smart thing, because with this exercise, she's going to stand on the band in the center. If you stand on it while seated or while standing, you want to make sure that it's in the arch of your foot. And the reason is because if it isn't, you don't want to pull on it and it slips and hits you in the face. So if it's in the middle of your shoe, chances are, I mean, I haven't ever, and I've been training 25 years, seen it slip and hurt someone, right? And then also you want to make sure that there's no latex sensitivities, because I don't want y'all calling me, I'm allergic to rubber, and I'm like, don't be calling me for that. Now you can call me with all your progress, but that's it. So she's going to put that under one foot. And what she's going to do is the same movement that we use the hands for. So you're going to have your hands facing here, and you're going to raise your arms up. That's the lightest resistance to shoulder height. And we'll just do 5 reps. So she's going to breathe out and then inhale as she lowers. She exhales out. Okay, so I want you to do it wrong for me. So when you come up, because she's doing a great job, I want you to so as you come up, I want you to raise your hands here. So so this would be the wrong way to do it. And the reason being, that's not a straight line, and she's using her wrists, which is her brachioradialis, versus keeping her wrists neutral like that. So don't try to do it all janky. I always say use janky and then come back down. Do it a couple more times. So this should be straight from the wrist to the shoulders. So your shoulders, you have 3 different heads. I know it's like a head on a shoulder. The front is called the anterior deltoid. She's working the medial or lateral deltoid, and that's why we said this is called a lateral raise. I know she's like, I'm going to keep can you feel it? Okay. So if she could not feel it, if you're using a resistance band, you could stand on that same band instead of going from the light to the medium with both feet. Because what that's going to do is create more tension and more resistance without moving up. So just think crawl, walk, run. Not go from crawling to running. Just do gradual. And another way to increase the intensity, if she's doing 5 reps, the next time she does it, maybe shoot for 10 reps with the same band. Or if you're using the dumbbells, with the same dumbbells. And then once you get to probably about 12 to 15, I would say that's when you want to move up with the weight. Okay, all right, good job. I'm not going to make you hold it there. Okay, but you could do biceps, you can do shoulders, you can do anything. Absolutely. You can do bicep curls, you can do a row with it. Yes. That's a great question. It's actually easier to use one leg at a time, because that's going to be less resistance. If you use both feet underneath the band, it's going to be tighter, so it's going to be harder to pull, which creates more resistance. So do y'all have confidence that y'all can do something today? Move a little bit, just like, yes, absolutely, please.
When you pick it up, do you inhale or exhale?
That's a great question as well. So we always exhale whenever you lift weights. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like, maybe fitness competitions or power lifters when they lift weights, and you see all this massive weight on a barbell, and you see them get down, that's called a deadlift, and pick up the weight. and their face looks like it's about to explode, like it gets all red and you see like there's pressure in their eyes, that's because they're not breathing out. So that's why it's important to exhale on exertion or effort. And I know your eyes just kind of got big with that, but think about the amount of weight. They're lifting hundreds of pounds. So your face wouldn't explode if you were using one of these bands. But if it was super heavy and it's strenuous, then it can cause your blood pressure to go up a little bit. And it can be dangerous. So we always exhale during the exertion or effort. So if you do a bicep curl, the concentric, and it's a little too much, is the lift. You want to breathe out as you lift, and then you just inhale as you lower. Just like that. You're like, I thought this was yoga. No, I'm just okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just want you guys to know, for every time you move, it's an investment in your health. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 6 minutes, and that's just insurance to do whatever it is that you like to do in your spare time longer. I from personal experience, have family members dear to my heart, mother-in-law that passed away because they did not move when they got sick or fell or hurt, or, that their muscles, atrophy, and this is what happens. And I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I just want you to know it's not about looking good in a bikini, which that is important. I know, y'all are going on vacation. If y'all go on a cruise, sign me up. But it's just for longevity, for feeling your best, and to define what it means to age. We're redefining, as you guys sit here today, that's a redefinition of what it means to age. Like our parents, they would never do what we're doing now and move the way that we're moving now. And to me, I think that that's such an opportunity and such a, an investment in health, that it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, especially to see us doing this. It is beautiful. Any other questions or? Yes, absolutely.
Stretch out the box and should you stretch?
That's a great question too. So there are 5 pillars to, I'm just touching base on one. Y'all know I'm long-winded. Y'all be here until 8 o'clock at night if I went over it. But stretching is a pillar of health, which is flexibility. So flexibility is super important too. Just like movement and resistance training, I would recommend stretching every time you work out. So at least 2 to 3 days a week. And it could be, you can stretch in bed. So you don't have to go to a gym or leave your bedroom to stretch. That is super important because our muscles will get tight and stiff, not just from weight training. Even with weight training, you have what's called fascia. That can get stiff and hard and tight as well. So stretching will help lengthen and elongate those muscles. So it's super important. You could even start with a stretch video, like on YouTube. They have a 3-minute walking video on YouTube. They have a 5-minute. They have a 1-minute. Of just, stepping and then going faster or varying your pace. So it doesn't take a lot, but I would just say a couple times a week for at least 2 or 3 different stretches for 10 minutes and after your workout. Because when you're working out, oxygen is just going to your muscles. And then when it starts to burn, that's when you lose all that pump. So yeah, you want to stretch to lengthen whatever it is you stretch. Yes, absolutely.
Can riding a stationary bicycle for like 5 to 6 minutes prior to exercise, is that like stretching or is that regular exercise?
No, okay, so if you get on a bicycle and then like a stationary bike, you can be an upright or like you said, the stationary bike, that is considered a warm-up. So that's considered a warm-up. And you want to, ideally, your workout should be when you walk into the gym, not to just walk in there and just start stretching. So think about like stretching a rubber band. You see people walking in and they're doing this before they start their workout. You want to do some type of what's called dynamic warm-up, which is like riding a bike, a stationary bike, or light walk for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you get into your workout. So that warm-up is getting your body and muscles ready and prepared to do the weight training. So yeah, that would be, but that's great. Now, this is just a, question that I get because a lot of people want to lose weight that come to our studio to train. So ideally, if you do weights 2 to 3 times a week, like we talked about, you want to warm up, do your weight training. And then after your weight training, because they say, oh, should I do cardio before or after or what? You want to do another 10 or 15 minutes of some type of like walking or stationary bike. Because what happens is your body has what's called glycogen, which is just extra carbs and sugar stores. Whatever you've eaten today, your body stores whatever you don't use as fuel and energy as fat. So that glycogen level can be burned, which is stored fat, after you do your weight training. Weight training also helps burn through that. Yes, absolutely.
Both.
Any other questions?
On the board.
Okay.
If people all the time get in the morning, that's right into the evening. That
How about each do you? Guess what? When the best time to work out
is
Absolutely. The best time, it's going to be beneficial. It's going to be beneficial in the morning. It's going to be beneficial after, you finish your chores. It's going to be beneficial in the evening.
that doesn't matter if you work out 2 hours, just make it about 7 minutes. They go to the gym, but they there 2 good.
Now, see, that's too much. Don't nobody have time for all that. So now with they are, no, that's I'm not gonna say that's crazy. I'm not judging. That is too much. Okay, so and the reason being, but there's science behind it. Anything after 45 minutes to an hour, especially with weight training, your body, like I said, is going to run through that glycogen, everything that you've eaten, because it can only run through so much. And then it's going to use stored muscle as energy to get you through your workout. So instead of building muscle, you're actually losing muscle if you're working out like with weights 2 and 3 hours. A sound workout should be no more than an hour. I say no more than 45 minutes to an hour. Anything else like that is tell them to call me.
My cousin said, well, you can go exercise with me, but I'll be there 2 hours.
What's she doing for 2 hours? I mean, unless there's a TV and some snacks or something. I mean, what's she doing for 2 hours at the gym? I mean, like, you could technically, yeah, you could do social, like maybe she's resting a little bit longer in between.
Working out for 2 hours, I can't do that.
Okay, I have never trained anyone for 2 hours. Now, when I was a competitive bodybuilder, I would work out twice a day, 2 a day sometimes. So I would work out in the morning and then maybe do my weight training in the morning and then come back at night and do cardio.
I like that. That's the way that she had. What is the bullshit that every atom? She
Okay, so she probably did bodybuilding. So you work out longer when you're doing something specific like that.
These cousins not.
Okay. Well, and maybe they enjoy it. Maybe they're doing it more social, and like maybe they're walking slower. You know what I mean? So that may take an hour and a half for them to do 2 miles instead of like someone just really getting to it. So I really can't judge like what they're doing, but I will say in general, it doesn't take that much. It doesn't. And we got other things that we want to do. Okay, right, yes.
the keys. You come on, you go on to work out.
That's a great question. A lot of people that are not used to working out, I personally like working out first thing in the morning, so I don't eat before I work out, and that's that's my own preference. But I've been working out for so many years that it doesn't bother me. But for some people, they need some type of fuel or energy to fuel their workouts, especially if they're not used to doing it. So I recommend something light. You don't want to eat a full meal before working out because you can get sick that way. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes for your food to digest. That's why I say do something light, like yogurt. Yogurt is a good balance of fat, a little good balance of carbohydrates, which give you energy, and protein. Because after you work out, body weight, bands, cans, bottled water, you're actually breaking down your muscle. And when your muscle is resting, when you sleep, when you're watching TV or on the computer, your muscle's rebuilding itself. So it needs the amino acids from the protein to help your muscles heal faster. And also it helps prevent you getting super, super sore. But I like being sore. How many of y'all like being sore after you move for a while? Or do y'all... Yeah, because I feel like something is working. We have to change our mindset when it comes to oh, I can't do anything. Yes, you can. I have not seen anyone. There are people that come to me in wheelchairs and walkers, and they're still able to do a full workout in a wheelchair and a walker. I mean, they'll drive, and some of them can't drive. Some of them, their kids drive them because they know the importance of working out. They'll come to the studio. The kids will help get them in the studio. We have machines. We have bands. In fact, I think I'm going to use you as my demo for an exercise. She's like, Lord Jesus. Okay, I'm going to show you an exercise that she can do seated that will help strengthen her back. Yes. So what you're going to do, I want you to sit on the very end of the chair, or just a little bit. Yep, because I want your arms to come forward, and you're going to bring them back like this. And when you do that, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So your shoulder blades are these big muscles here. So I'm going to have you hold this. No. Look, we don't sweat now. Well, maybe not. Okay, so you want to straighten your arms all the way up. And then I want you to pull your arms back, but keep them close to your body. Pull them back as far as you can. Squeeze your back, and then come forward. That's going to give her that sexy back. If she does that, just do 5 reps. She's like, oh, well, let me keep going with this. That's too good. Yeah, that's also going to help with her posture. So that helps the posterior chain, the back. Yeah, so if you're at home, I wouldn't do a doorknob because I don't trust a doorknob. I would do something that's not going to move, that's sturdy, and I would put it down a little bit lower. Just give me one more. Can you feel that in your muscles when you do that? Okay. So she's working out without moving, and she's doing something that's going to give her stronger muscles, help improve your balance and posture. One more. That's it. Good job. Good job. So that's another thing that you can do without doing you don't have to do the most every single time. Oh my God, it's awesome. You look, what? Okay, that is amazing. You are beautiful. I would not have guessed that. Okay, I need to know your skincare regimen. I'm going to talk to her afterwards. I would look like that. That is amazing. And she just did 15 pounds of resistance. 15 pounds of resistance. She's pulling back. That was 15 pounds of resistance. That 92 years old. That is amazing. You are beautiful. Yes. Oh.
If I never hear this, begin to be within my circle. If I could come back and go back and run in circle.
That is amazing. That's a testament. See, she's doing what you are a testament to what it means to keep moving like that. That is amazing. That is amazing. No, she needs to be, you need to get her. She watching, like, look at Mama doing a great job. That makes no sense. But guys, I just want to thank you so much for giving me a little bit of your time today. I enjoyed myself so much. Yes. Thank you. Barbo, you know I'm long. I love door prizes. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, now I have an ebook, guys, that gives you a meal plan, some of my favorite recipes, tips, a grocery list, all kinds of good things. So it is awesome. It's an ebook. So it's a book that has a lot of different tips of weight loss, snacks, on-the-go snacks, a shopping list. So I do all the work for you, a guide to getting started, and also recipes. It's available on my website, resultsstudiolr.com, but this is going to be given to one of the lucky people that draw for free today. I am getting more. I've sold out of the hard copies. All I have is the ebook, the e-format.
When we get them.
But yes, because when we get them, they're going to be here.
They're going to be here, so
Yes.
we'll let you know.
And I'm going to post it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the outlets. Okay.
So full of luck.
Okay, I get to
Marion, do you have
The list. So we can see what number who won. Ask Teresa to have it at the desk.
I have number 8.
Who's number 8? You don't have the list. Let's see who number 8 is. Well, we're getting number 8.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
going to tell you a little bit about the gallery. It's all about the arts in the books. So today, we are in the midst of the Six Bridges Book Festival. It started on Sunday, and it'll go through next Sunday, and we have a lot of fabulous authors here that'll be in the main library. Ron Robinson tonight, Dr. Karita Brown, The Battle for the Black Mind, will be at the Ron Robinson. We just picked her up this morning. She's here. And we have these exhibits to share with you, so they'll be on the table. Who's number 8?
No, it is Ania.
Okay.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
So we will get this ebook
Yes,
to you.
and I'm gonna give her a hard copy too, because she's 92. She deserves that. So I only brought one, but I'm gonna get you your hard
We're
copy.
gonna get you a hard copy. We got your
Yes.
information. We'll get it to you. So yes, so
Yes.
you'll get a hard copy instead of an e-copy. Because if you're anything like me with an e-copy,
Right,
what is
right.
it? How do you even
She
do it?
deserves a hard copy.
So
Yes.
thank you so much, Tina.
All right. So as I was saying, the Sixth Grade Book Festival is happening, so make sure that you get a copy of this so you know what's happening up until Sunday. And then Sunday is the Little Readers Rock. And we will have 2 authors there. Maria Hoskins, an Arkansas-based author who writes about holidays and family traditions. So she'll be there from 2 to 4. Is Shannon Wright, whose exhibit is behind you on that wall. She's a cartoonist, and she's an award-winning illustrator who'll be going to school. She'll be here tomorrow night for her reception, and Sunday she'll be at the Children's Library. So, as we talked about building children's libraries, we have the Vail Math Club. And so we have 2 gift certificates for you to start helping your child build the library. So, oh, I love it. I'll send you those gifts. Okay, let's see.
Number 6.
Number 6, and who is number 6?
No,
Okay. Now, you sure this is not rigged? No,
Hold it up a little
Okay,
bit.
yeah, let me just shake it up a little bit. Yeah, I gotta shake it up.
Did you sign? Everybody sign? Okay.
Number 9.
Number 9. Who's number 9?
Okay, now we can have the side. Okay. Good job. That's awesome. All right. So we do have some refreshments for you in the second gallery, thanks to Camille Watkins. So it's going to tell you a little bit about 164 and what you have to do to sign up for all those meals in Medicare, right?
Whatever that means.
Thank you.
And Deidre's going to talk about Oak Street at some point. But we want to thank you all for being here. The last thing is, did you notice, if those of you who were here before, that the walls have changed? The walls have changed. This is the work of Rex Maloney, who's also an Arkansas-based artist from North Little Rock. And he's the chair of the art department at Central High School. This exhibit is very timely. Knows that time. What time is it? So what time is it for you? And definitely
read the poster to explain what he's trying to get across, because it's time for us as people to stand up and take care of business. So we'll have a poster that he is going to be signing on October 18th, and reception is Saturday, October 18th from 4 to 8. So I hope you'll come back for that. We have your email address. Now all you have to do is open that email. So, Deidre, would you like to come first to talk about Oak Street? Present faith, there are living talking to the creator.
And also thank Tina for letting us know we are not going to have to hurt ourselves in order to get some type of stability with our everyday life. Pardon me? Just hold it. Now that I got it. All right, so I am from Oak Street Health. You all might have seen Oak Street on 12th and Fair Park. You might have seen it in Lakewood Village in North Little Rock. It is a primary care facility for seniors only. You have to have Medicare, which pretty much means you have to be 65 to come in there, and it is specifically designed, the whole everything, the standards of procedures are only for seniors, because 5 minutes with the doctor doesn't work anymore for me, because I got 20 minutes worth of things I need to tell you. Okay, so, and then he has to look for everything and la-da-dee-la-da. Also, besides spending 40 minutes with you, the actual doctor spending 40 minutes with you, the other thing is they go immediately into preventative care. After they've taken all your baselines, let's prevent this from happening. Why is that important? because we want as much longevity as we can get. But on top of it, if they are treating you for a particular thing and you end up going to the hospital for it, they acknowledge and take accountability that they've done something wrong and they will pay the bill. I had never heard that before in my life, so I was kind of, all right, I can do this. I can do this. I can deal with this. And one of the other things that's really important, we have a community room in each one of the locations that is available for your event. How about that? You know, it's not as fabulous as Pyramid Gallery Books and Framing, but it's a community room that you can come in and you can do your thing in, and we also hold events ourselves in there. One more thing, I'm gonna get out the way, and then Camille is gonna talk. We also will come to your place, like your church events, and set up there and do things for the churches. Maybe if you're in like the Eastern Star, stuff like that, we come there and set up for that, give fish fries and the whole shebang. So
Fried fish. Baked fish.
I am going to Eastern Star Missionary Baptist Church, which I believe is in Scott, Arkansas, and serving fish. Okay, all right. You all, now I'm going to turn it over to Camille Watkins of the Watkins Agency to tell you a little bit more about what it means to be a senior in this insurance and healthcare thing.
My name is Camille Watkins. Enough is right. One thing that I want to speak that being said about movement being your insurance. How many people know someone that broke it? The difference in recovery is not just what your plan will pay or how your doctor treats you. It's about how you care for your body before, during, and after. And that's what I'm here for. When you're turning Medicare eligible, you have more plans available to you than any other time in your life. So right now, keep in mind, October 1st, which is today, through October 14th, this is your pre-enroll period. This is the time where you gather your information. You got to review your coverage to think to yourself, did my plan do what I needed it to do this year? Because October 15th and until December 7th, you have the opportunity to enroll in another plan. Or you can stay with the coverage that you have now. Whatever your decision, your plan becomes effective January 1st. Now, more important than ever, it's important to review. Make sure that your doctors are going to be planned for next year, your prescriptions are covered, and any other thing that change your plan needs. Tina talked a lot about working out and what you can do at home. A lot of Medicare plans now offer you a gym membership or even access to equipment in your home. Keep that in mind when you're reviewing your plan. So if you have any questions or just general knowledge about insurance, let me know. Contact us at WatkinsInsurance.net or look on Facebook and the Watkins Insurance or the Watkins Insurance. Gonna be your cup. That's the main thing. So this concludes our October 1st to Wednesday. The next time will be October 15th. Well, Jill Jones will be here to talk about what's next, being here, unexpected and unexpected. I'm sure you want to hear her story. And then you have the rest of them. They all sound exciting, right? Thank you. It's about call Tina.
Yes, all the cards are right up here. I got it.
With practitioners and look around and see if there's anything you want to make. I'm right here for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
What it did.